If you've ever wondered how the world's highest quality ammunition components are made, that's what we're going to talk about in this video.
Oh my God.
Gavin Gear here from UltimateReloader.com. I'm here deep inside the Peterson Cartridge facility with President Derek Peterson. Thank you so much for having me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
We just filmed an entire video showing the process from start to finish, how these super high quality shell casings are made. What I've seen here is absolutely mind-blowing. I've been to a lot of production facilities in the two-way space, and I've never seen anything like this. I've seen a lot of really cool machines. I've seen a lot of really cool things being made, but I've never seen a company that is so laser focused on achieving some very specific goals. Do you want to talk about what that is?
Yeah, I appreciate it. That's a nice compliment. And so our goal, has been since the beginning we started the company back in 2014, is to produce casings of uncompromising quality for our customers. That's our goal. Mm-hmm. And so we have built an entire facility from production to inspection to packaging to the lab, 100% focused on building the best possible quality casings for the customers.
And there's a lot more to that than you might think, right?
It's a lot.
This is not just someone holding up a case and looking, okay, this is fine. So if you're okay with it, I'd like to peel back the curtain a little bit in this video and give people kind of a behind the scenes look at just how rigorous, just how intense and resource intensive, like the investment that you guys have made into ensuring quality is mind-boggling. Can we show people and talk about how this is done a little bit?
I think we absolutely should.
Okay, so where does it start?
All right, let's go over and we'll start with sectioning some casing.
Okay, let's do it.
So a lot of times when you're making a casing, it's different than when you're purchasing a casing. So when you buy a casing, you're mostly looking at the outside of the casing. Mm-hmm. You're trying to check for water spots or some kind of other issue or some kind of scratch or dent. Well, when you're making a casing, a lot of times you need to get and look inside the casing. So the only really way to look inside the casing is to cut the casing in half. Okay. And so that's what we're doing here. And so we've got our all set up. We're basically ready to start cutting. And so we're gonna tighten down the vise. We're gonna close the lid. We're gonna put some safety glasses on just in case. Start the spindle up and let her eat. What we can do is we can lift this up, okay? So now what we have here is a casing that has been cut in half, and we're able to see the blend points on the inside. We're able to see if there's been any kind of issues with the drawing operation, with the punching operation. We're able to see really the whole inside, and it tells the whole story of the casing.
That is awesome, and trust me, you do not want to see the way that I do that. It does not look nearly as good when I'm done either. Amazing.
Everything's easy if you know how.
Yep.
Yeah. So then we'll move on to the next station, which is going to be potting this cut in half casing, and then we're going to polish it.
Okay.
So what we've done here is we have potted the casing in a mold using a resin, plastic resin, and then as soon as it hardens up, we'll be able to take it over here and we'll polish it, and then we'll be able to check the hardness of it.
Nice.
So one of the tests that we do is we measure the primer exit force. We use that to determine how the casings are holding up. As you know, customers or other shooters will sometimes say, oh well, my casings are holding up really well, and that means my primer pockets aren't getting loose. Mm-hmm. And so we measure our casings when we're doing our first article inspection to determine how the primer pockets are holding up. And we found that probably the best way to do it is to measure the exit force of the primer after it's been fired.
So you're basically decapping it and measuring every little bit of that distance to see what the force is.
Exactly, and getting a total peak force.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So you just put the pin inside, you zero the gauge, and you're just going to come on down on it, and you're going to measure. You're looking for about 30 some pounds at a minimum, and this one was 99.6 pounds. So I would say that primer was still really, really well in there.
Okay, yeah.
And so what you can see is how many times the casing's been fired, and you can watch the primer exit force, push out force, basically go down and then back up, and it's not linear like you would think.
Interesting.
Where it continues to get less and less. It gets less, and then it gets more, and then it gets less. And then eventually when you get down into the teen pounds, that's when you would say, okay, that
Feels
casing
loose.
has about had it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that's that's our primer exit force test.
Very cool.
Yeah. So what this machine is doing is checking neck tension on our casings. So we want to avoid having too much neck tension, which means that you're going to get pressure seating on marks on the bullets, and too little neck tension, which means the bullets would just fall through the casing.
Right.
So this is the only way to actually ensure that our casings are built properly from a neck tension
Nice.
standpoint.
So this is a polished carbide mandrel, is that correct?
It is polished carbide, and someone might say, well, that's not a bullet, and that's true, but it's more consistent than a bullet.
Right.
So we get
It'll be proportional to what a bullet will do.
Exactly,
But a bullet will
exactly.
vary more, right?
way more.
Yeah.
Way more.
This is literally the only way to do this right.
Correct.
Nice.
And from the last one we checked to this one, there was 3 pounds worth of difference of entrance force and about a pound worth of difference from exit.
That's some awesome consistency.
Super consistent. Throw this here. So what we're doing here is we are checking the hardness along the primer pocket. That's one of the things that's really important to the end customer who's going to be shooting this and wanting to use the casing a lot of times, is that they're going to need to have a really robust primer pocket. It's very hard. So this is what we're doing. We're getting the specimen ready to have its hardness checked. And so we're actually in the primer pocket region, you can see. There's the bottom of the primer pocket.
Oh, very cool.
Yep. There's the sidewall of the primer pocket. So we go to our known location, our 0 location. Basically, X and Y's are zeroed. And that'll be there. And then we're going to come up and over. And we're going to 0 there. And then we're going to go to our 0 location. So now we're at our 0 starting location, and we're going to go up. We have a chart over here that tells us where exactly to hit. So we're going to go up 20 thousandths of an inch to where we're going to do our first hardness hit, and then we are going to hit load. So as that's loading, what you'll see is this is the D spot in the head that we're checking. And we're looking for about 180 on the Vickers scale at a minimum there.
Okay.
And so we'll see in a couple of short seconds what this casing produces at that spot. My guess is it's going to be around 190 to 200. So minimum is 180. So we'll see.
What cartridge are we sectioning here?
This is a 408 Chi-Tac.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the calibers we're running as we speak. So it just finished. Now we're going to take a measurement. We're going to see what that hardness is.
So that square there is the impression.
Exactly.
It's like a hole.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
And so this is 215 on the Vickers scale.
Nice,
So
okay.
way harder than minimum. So
Okay.
that's one of the ways that you judge if a casing is quality or not.
And you've got multiple points here that you can test.
Ways. You then have to hit space C and space B and then A. So yeah, absolutely.
Very cool.
That's what we do here. One of the coolest things we've gotten recently here at Peterson Cartridge is called a digital optical comparator. And so basically what used to take us an hour to do with this,
A real optical comparator. Old school.
we now have this, a digital optical comparator. And so in about 1 second, it can capture every dimension on our casings like that.
Wow.
So let's do it.
I gotta see this.
Yeah, it's really cool. So we'll take a 408 Chi-Tac,
Okay.
one of the calibers we're currently running.
Yep.
We'll set it on the stand, and we'll give it the old go button.
Whoa.
Every dimension.
So these dimensions we see here are literally the ones that are taken from that.
Live on that.
Wow.
And if we change it to be a live feed and we move this, it changes as we go.
Wow. That is
Tells us
insane.
All the different dimensions.
Wow. So when you're taking pieces of brass off the line and you need to know real quick, is what we're doing good? You could throw it on here and say, yep, it's either good or needs something.
It's good, it needs tweaked, the length of shoulder needs changed, you have some kind of body diameter or some kind of other length, overall length. It takes all of the guesswork and it takes all of the operator error of measuring out of it. Plus, a normal optical comparator like this is only good to about plus or minus 1/2 thousandth of an inch. This, good to a 10,000th of an inch.
Wow.
So it is super, super accurate and crazy quick. And it has been a force multiplier for us.
That's super impressive.
Yeah. So this is basically our Bible. It's the SAAMI print book. And so this has the prints that we have to follow for every casing that we make and every casing that we maybe are going to make in the future. So you flip through if you're trying to figure out what kind of dimension you need to hold on a loaded neck diameter of, say, a 257 Weatherby. You're going to go and find the 257 Weatherby. You're going to flip to it. 257 Weatherby Magnum. We can see that it's the casing is a .285 cylinder on the neck.
No taper on the neck.
With no taper, so it's a cylinder. And how does that correspond to the chamber for that? So, like I said, this is super important, and if we didn't have this, we would really struggle to make inspect casings. So one of the best parts of making casings is that you get to shoot them to test them.
Absolutely.
So to do that, to shoot them, you got to load them. And this is where we do all the loading for our testing inside of our internal ballistics lab. So we have all the manuals, all the tools, all the things necessary to do all the loading that you need to do. So, would you like to shoot the gun?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Let's do
Let's
that.
go shoot 'em. So, we're now inside the internal ballistics lab here at Peterson Cartridge. And as we talked about before, we have to shoot the casings. And so we have a 375 Shy-Tech here for you to shoot and test and make sure that the casings that you've been watching us make actually work.
Indoors.
Indoors.
375 Shy-Tech indoors.
You're going to double plug.
Okay, let's
All right,
do this.
Let's do it.
That's not too bad.
So, we have a project coming up that we're working on,
Yep.
and I figured you'd maybe want to shoot one of these. So we've got a gun here for
Okay.
you to shoot one of these new casings we're working on.
Okay, this looks substantial, I would say.
Yeah, this is a 6BR. This is a Shy-Tech. We'll leave it up to the imagination.
Okay. There we go.
Oh my God.
Oh, I saw that. I saw the flames. Okay, that was a lot. There's a lot more that happens here behind the scenes than I think most people would realize. So when you think about this, like in the average year, the average day even, how do all those tools and resources and capabilities come into play in what you do?
Yeah, we can use them, and we do use them from anything from the in-process inspection of the product as it's being built to new caliber development. We use it for spot checking to make sure that what we're making is inspect dimensionally, it's visually great, and it's going to perform perfectly for our customers.
Yeah. So you're limiting your losses because you're checking periodically as the product is coming off the line.
You don't want to wake up to you've run 100,000 of a bad thing.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
And there's a whole next phase here, right?
There
The
is.
product leaves this facility, goes to the other facility that we
Correct.
visited.
The inspection and
And
packaging, yep.
Every single case goes through this process. Talk about that
In this
process.
facility, we are just spot inspecting as we're producing the casings. At the other facility, our inspection and packaging building, What they're going to do there is basically take the casings. It's a handoff from this building, which we produce them at the shed, like you've seen, and they get handed off to the other building, and then the other building is going to take them from there, and they're going to run them through the entire automated inspection process, and then the hand packaging process, and get them ready for shipment out to customer.
So you have a high level of confidence when those boxes go out the door and they're shipped, it's right.
We have invested all of the time, all of the money, all of the equipment and facility infrastructure, everything required to make sure that I can say, without a doubt, when the casings ship out, they're correct.
Yes, it's a little bit mind-boggling, and one thing I've learned in the time that I spent here at Peterson during this trip, it's just how determined everyone is at Peterson to do a great job and to deliver a great product.
We are uncompromising in our quality. That's our mission. It's been our mission from the beginning, and we're excited to continue that mission on in the future.
I just appreciate the access behind the scenes here. This is some stuff people don't normally get to see.
Yes, yeah, it really is. And we've taken the time to show you the real ins and outs of it. So.
And don't forget, we got another video that's going to show you the entire process from start to finish, from literally the cup through all of these different stations and processes to the final product, plus the final inspection that we just talked about. So you're going to want to check out that how it's made video. Now, my question for you, was there any unanswered questions that you had about how quality is quantified here at the facility, or other things that are involved in creating great shell casings? Drop a comment. The Peterson guys are going to join in and help to answer those questions. Thank you very much for watching. That concludes this video, and that means it's time to wrap it up. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you're watching Ultimate Reloader on TV and want to take advantage of free resources, exclusives, and hot deals, just hold your camera phone up to the QR code, tap on the link, fill out the information, boom, you're getting Ultimate Reloader emails. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Also, we're on Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, where we've got unrestricted content, and Instagram. Make sure to follow us on all those channels. Ultimate Reloader also has a commercial solutions division serving law enforcement, the military, and the gun industry. We have some unique capabilities, including a comprehensive suite of recoil testing and evaluation capabilities, trigger profiling, and more. Thanks again for watching.